Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hello. We're running just a minute late, everybody. Sorry. It's alright, we're all here though. First off, let's click on a couple buttons here. Okay. Then click on that. Oh my goodness. Huh? Yeah. There we go. Alrighty. So, everybody, we are quickly getting to the part where we're going to be more or less done with the robes here, because it's been taking forever. To be fair, it's also like the largest part of the model as well, so like, crap, man, just gotta do it. Sucks, but you gotta do it. Good news though, unlike last time, we're not gonna be doing as much blending as we did before. We still have to finish those off, just smooth out that transition a little bit. It's gotten way better. And actually, you know what? Speaking of which, let's just go ahead and do that now. Let's yeah, this music's good. I think it might be a smidge too loud. Let's dim it down just a bit. There we go. I'm gonna make sure I'm not overpowering my own voice with the music and stuff like that. It's supposed to be backing track, you know. Anyways. Ba-ba. Hey, there we are. The mouse. Whoa. Okay, where's a good spot to put the mouse? Let's put it like right here. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Alright. The little dropper that we were using before. Ugh, this angle. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So, last time. We worked a good bit on the model itself. We finished base coating, which is great. We started working on the transitions and stuff like that between the spirits and the robes itself. I think a good spot to kind of pick on that is like right here. It's definitely gotten way better. There's not nearly as dark as it was before. We've got to do this a couple more times just to even out the colors. Then from there, we're going to be looking good. Spooky. Alright. So, first off, we got rag, clean up the brushes. We got the well that we can put our mixture in. Speaking of which, let me a medium. And that's the one. Yeah, Colia green shade. That's it. I think it was? Yeah, it was. Okay, that's fine. Alright. I should look at the rest of the colors I have with me right now. I think I got most of the paints that I need, although I probably don't, so I'm gonna have to probably get more later on down the road, but we're not gonna worry about that for right now. Okay, so this one's feeling decent and good in terms of the brushes. Alright. And also, as you can tell, we still got the old gloves with all the markings on them. It's a mark of our progress together. You know? It's nice. So, let us screw the cap of this little critter. Get the dropper. Now, remember, what we're looking for here is a 3-to-1 mix. So, first off, we're going to shake the crap out of these boys. Shake it, 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 shake it. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, 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 shake. Okay. Alright. So, first off, let's go for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're starting the Lumion medium first. That way the color does not contaminate the Lumion medium when we go for the colored wash shade. Whatever. It's a wash. Let's not beat around the bush. It's a wash. Alright. So, we got this. Okay. Let's settle. 1, 2. Okay. That's good. Make sure to get the lids secured on this one. Just gonna squeeze out some of the excess. That. And dip it in here. Into our water bottle. Or water cup, rather. Yeah. And we're gonna go ahead and just clean out the pipette. Or eyedropper? Whatever you call it. I think it's a pipette. I don't think actually it is technically a pipette. Alright. There we go. Okay. Sweet. Now let's go ahead and wash our brush. Make sure it's not all stiff. And also not nearly as absorbent into the concoction itself. And from there, let us begin. Stir, stir, stir. Stir, stir, stir. Stir, stir, stir. Stir, stir. This one right here is our old number 2, not the new one. This one's a little bit more raggedy, which means we're going to use it for some more of the dirty work, as opposed to the good work. Alright, so, kind of like last time, we're going to be doing some more blending. So, first off, we got the above and the below looking pretty good, so I think we just want to focus just on the seam itself of these different colors. So that's what we're going to do. So, we're just going to apply. We're going to apply here. Here. Yep, nice. See, I'm doing it again. We're grabbing it by the top instead of grabbing it by the base like I could, like a smart boy. It's okay. Making mistakes is fine. Actually, no, let's grab some more. There's some of the excess. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Nice. Alright, and then before we move on to the back side, let's go ahead and double check the front just to make sure we don't have any pooling going on, because pooling is going to leave marks and we don't want that because that's going to suck. Okay, nope, this is all looking good so far. Alright, cool. So now let us actually work on the inside. Alright. So let's maintain the direction we were doing last time. Spin here. I know you guys can't see what's going on here. It's just is not gonna happen. I'm sorry, the angle is too awkward. Right there. Let's get a little bit more. Okay. Nice. Alright, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and double check, just make sure that we don't have any pools forming. Because that's going to be a disaster if that starts happening. Don't want that. I want this transition to be looking nice. Okay, nope, that's looking pretty good. Alright, so while we leave that to dry for the next 10 minutes, we're going to go ahead and work on another part of the... See, there we go. I knew I was forgetting something. Alright. We're going to go ahead and grab the other parts of the model, because we're going to do some more base coating. Yay! Alright, let me go grab them. Okay. Torso. Head. I don't think we need belt and backpack. Okie doke. So, we got that all taken care of, got all that done. Let's go ahead and clean up workstation just a little bit, just a little. Pretend that we're all neat and clean, you know? So I should move this boy over here to the side. Just gonna focus on some other stuff for right now. Okay. So, what we need now is rack our flesh. Gonna give this sucker a shake. Shaky shake. Shaky, shaky, shaky shake. There we go. Get our wet palette. Bada boom. Yeah, let's go ahead and move these boys over here. There we go. We're gonna be using the same number 2 brush we've been using before. And just because we're not really looking to be super neat here, we're looking for good coverage, which actually, upon reflection, now we're actually not working on a super big part, so the temperature should be fine. Alright, let's open up this bad boy. There we go. Let's put that glob jewel right there. Grab just a smidge more. There we go. Alright, let's close the lid to the paint. There we go. Okay, nice. So, in terms of working on stuff, let's actually save that for later. Let's work on some of the simpler details, like Nagash's head. Yay! Wow! Wowee! Look at that. Let's actually move this right here, just so I have some space to put my elbow for some added stability. We're just gonna apply this sucker right in there. Nice. It's okay for us to get a little messy around the sides here, because we're gonna be painting those a different color down the road. Make sure we get the back too, even though it's a part that not a lot of people are going to be able to see. It's going to be good just A, for the sake of completion, but also B, I guess really it is just the sake of completion, isn't it? Huh. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Alright, just going to get a closer look at this. Make sure there's nothing obvious I didn't miss. Nah, that's looking about right. We got the crown here we're going to also paint, but I'm going to wait until this is a bit more dry before I start working on that. So instead, oh my goodness, these globes. So instead, we are going to work on this shoulder pad right here. Now, there's tons of bones on Nagash, as to be expected for the Supreme Overlord, or the Supreme Lord of the Undead. Undead? Oh my goodness. Promise I can spell words, boys. You gotta believe me. So for this, just given the sheer large area we're working with, we're gonna do 2 coats on this sucker. I mean, we're gonna do 2 coats on like everything, but that's just how it. All right, message taken, good sir. We're just gonna do 2 coats on everything, because right now it looks really splotchy and crappy and gross, and it is, which is why we do more than 1 coat. Don't want to do 1 big coat, otherwise you are exceptionally liable to ruin a lot of the detail of the model itself. So man, it is tempting just to get 1 big old glob on it, slap it on there and call it a day, but that is ultimately detrimental to what we are looking to do here. We are looking to paint a good looking model, not just get this work done for the sake of getting the work done. There's a certain level of neuroticism you have to adopt to do model painting. Not a huge amount, like you're not going absolutely nutso, but you know, just a smidge, just a tiny little bit. Ooh, got him, got it. Just a tiny little bit. Otherwise, you lose your mind and you become neurotic. So I guess really normal people can start painting miniatures too, and it's not a problem because hey, guess what, cowboy, You're gonna turn into a crazy person too. Congrats. Honestly, it's not actually that bad. It's easy to play it up just because it is super duper easy to like meme this. Oh no, this is way too watery. It's way too watery. Uh-oh. Why is it so watery? Ooh, that capillary effect in the paint right now is not looking good. I mean, that seems like it's taken well enough. Let's try a little bit more in the back. Yeah. Alright, yeah. I guess it's looking okay now. Curious that it did that, though. Not exactly something I'm super happy to see, I won't lie. Alright, about 4 more minutes and we can do the next coat of the blend of that transition. The sooner we get done with that, the better. Regrettably, we're actually going to have to do it again on these robes here on this part of the model. The reason why we did not do them at the same time is that whenever you're working on a really big model like this, it is super easy to get distracted. And I've been trying to maintain my focus on this stuff, and even I started wandering around just because, well, there's a lot of things that you want to work on, and your brain goes like, hey buddy, that looks like garbage, you should work on that. And you're like, okay brain, you know, you let me right so far, like we haven't made any huge mistakes. You're like, hey, remember that one time in middle school? Like, stop. I'm trying to go to bat for you here. I'm like, oh, okay, right. My brain says to you. I'm like, okay, so right, let's not worry about that. But right now though, this part of the model that you're working on right now, that you're putting a lot of time and effort into, I don't know, man. It's looking kind of bad. I think you might have messed up. I think you might have worked it. You might have effed up even. And you're like, shoot, shit and crap and ass. You might be right, brain. Brain's like, yeah, man. You gotta fix that. You don't want to look like a dunce, do you? Imagine putting all that hard work and effort into something only to mess up that bad. Like, if I was you, I'd be embarrassed. You kind of sit there and you think to yourself, like, brain, we are the same. We are the same person. Like, nah. If we were, you wouldn't be talking about me in the abstract third sense like you are right now. And you kind of have to, like, think about it and go, like, yeah, you're kind of right, but also, like, you serious right now, dude? You serious, dog? You really gonna be doing this to me? To your boy? Yeah, it does. Brain's an asshole. That's just how it do, man. Alright. Regardless of that tangent, we're actually gonna be doing another coat over some of the stuff we worked on previously. Because... Even coat. Bit of a wayward thought I was having. Actually, I got stuck in traffic while I was out and about earlier, trying to get some food. Consistency, my dudes. It's all about consistency. Out of all the things you could have in the world, one of the best things to have is consistency. I kind of understand to a certain extent gambling and stuff like that, but man, I don't know. If you gave me the choice of a chance at $1 million versus like just $1,000, I'd probably take the $1,000. Although that could also be low self-esteem and me not thinking about like deserving $1 million. Possibly. It's probably reaching too far into it. Although I guess it depends on like how likely of a chance it is. It's like super likely to get that $1 million. Yeah, I'll take it, even if it was still a chance. Interesting little philosophical point, I guess. Asking yourself, at what point do you say to yourself, nah, it's not worth it? Actually kind of touches upon a little bit about what we were talking about last week, too. Now that I think about it. It's interesting how that lines up. It's, well, it's almost like I planned it. That'd be crazy. This entire diatribe was actually just part of my great master plan. And some Death Note shit. Just go for a good old-fashioned Keikaku Dori, you know what I mean? Also, this music is very reminiscent of some of the more down-tempo, or not down-tempo, but some of the more calmer tracks in Death Note as well. So that's a little appropriate too. Okay, we are actually gonna finish on this first coat of this section of the sword right here, and then we're gonna go back to that transition. Definitely gonna need to go over that again. That's fine. It's base coating though, baby. Base coating sucks, and no one wants to deal with it, but, you know, as far as I can tell, I have not found a way to be able to spray paint prime color over individual parts. Actually, my roommate recently got himself an airbrush. He's been very happy with it, and I can respect that sentiment. I'm a smidgen envious of him using that airbrush because, like, airbrush sounds really cool, you know? That sounds, like, super useful. But at the same time, it's like a brand new tool that I'm not used to. So there's a little bit of like this cowardly old man in me that's like, I don't know about that, man. That thing's new and scary and dangerous. And I know that using a brush could be suffering, but it's something that I know. And I think maybe it might be better for me to stick with a horrible, detrimental evil that I know rather than this unknown possibility of a good thing. That... or I could just be lazy and making excuses for myself. Another possibility. That, or I'm actually also just afraid to like damage the airbrush by using it incorrectly or not cleaning it properly, because those little critters can be finicky. Granted, the one that he got is a much cheaper one than like the much more expensive like dual action ones, but still. There's a non-significant part of me that does not want to mess around with that thing, just for the sheer effort of like not damaging it or getting it messed up or whatever like that. Because I don't want to do that to him, man. That would suck. That'd be a jerk thing to do. Oh, geez, holy cow! That's some big old wells right there. Yeah, it formed a capillary effect just from the surface tension of those little bubbles. It's a good thing we double checked. Boy, howdy. Didn't really show up on the cam, I know. I also tried going out finding something to use as a way to get like a better angle on this, and the stores that I've checked were not super successful in that until my buddy told me that you could actually go to Goodwill and get like a tripod for super cheap, and I thought like I didn't really think I would need to get a tripod because like, come on, man, this is some pretty low-level, low-tech stuff. Getting like a special apparatus just to hold up a webcam to get a better angle on it? What kind of madness is this? And he told me that, yeah, they're like super cheap. He even offered to send me one, and I felt kind of bad about taking him up on that offer. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate getting free stuff from people, undeniably. But also by that same token, that's kind of really imposing myself on him to kind of go out of his way and having him mail it to me. And I just looked on Amazon, and they're dirt cheap now. You can get like a 50-inch tripod made out of aluminum, which is probably one of the reasons why it is so cheap. You just get one of those little critters for like 15 bucks. Like, dang, dog, you serious? I figure at that point, might as well, especially since my previous hunt did not go super well. There we go. Alright. 35 past the hour, we should probably work on the next layer of that. I'm thinking like 3 or 4 more should be about done, I'm hoping. Kind of looking at it right now, it's not looking super great. Although that could just be that perfectionism creeping back in. Nah, well, we're not going to worry about it. Instead, we're going to paint on some stuff that has some obvious signs of improvement, like this ribcage skull thing. Like 2 dudes got sewn ass to ass right here. I mean, it's so blurry. Oh my goodness. Yeah, alright, yeah, that, I think that is evidence enough that I just really need to get that tripod, because holy cow. It's okay if we get some of the some of this color on like the blade or the hand or the handle, because we're gonna come back and actually paint those a different color. We're gonna base them a different color way longer down the road, which I know Sounds horrifying, and I agree. But this is one of those big centerpiece models, one of those things that you put on the table and, you know, your opponent, your friend, looks at it and goes, "Geez, yeah? Sure about that, bro?" You're like, "Yeah, this is supposed to be a friendly game." "What? This is friendly? It's just a gash." And then they say something along the lines of like, "Yeah, can't he cast like 8 spells per turn?" And you kind of try to stifle a giggle a little bit, because you know he definitely can. That's the reason why you're bringing him. He can cast 8 spells per turn. 8 spells per turn. For context, for those of you who don't play like Age of Sigmar or whatever else. Your bottom barrel... Oh no, it went into the well. Oh boy. Uh-oh. That's fine. We're gonna rebase this anyways. See, this right here is a perfect example of why you work in steps, because now I can use the fact that I work in steps as an excuse for that not being a problem. Also, you could just be saying like, "Hey, Fred, why don't you adhere him to a base or anything, you dingus?" Then you wouldn't have to worry about that even happening. And like, yeah, you're right. But also, don't tell me what to do, because then I'll have to reflect upon myself and improve as a person, and I don't want to deal with that. I don't have the time for that. I need to pretend like I'm a decent person and just constantly complain about other people's behaviors when I'm too slovenly to change that behavior about myself. What the hell am I going on with this tangent about? Was that a little bit of the mummified hand in there? Oh, whoa, that's crazy. Alright, well, let's make sure we get that then. It's one of the benefits about having brighter colors, too, is that it makes it a lot easier to notice all those little details that would otherwise be hidden in there. Yeah, I think, honestly, we're going to be doing this kind of messy with this entire section. And we're just going to have to go with it with purple down the road anyways when we're working the armor plates themselves, so it's okay. This is actually totally fine. Though, now that I think about it, I need to get some more red card flush up in the wet palette. Wash off the brush. Don't worry, I didn't forget about talking about the fact that Nagash can cast 8 spells per turn. I'm going to go into that in just a second. I'm on a tangent and I dropped the boy, but in Age of Sigmar, you have spellcasters, heroes. They are vast majority of the time. I don't think there are any models that are not heroes, like individual characters that are spellcasters. There might be one out there somewhere. If so, whatever, who cares? They're probably garbage at it, or like the spellcasting aspects is just like a nice little bonus they can do in addition, but otherwise that's way too much. That is way too much. But otherwise, it's like, who cares? So your basic boy wizard can cast a spell. A good wizard can cast 2 spells. A great wizard, 3. That's an amazing amount of spells. A wizard to cast 3 spells. But Nagash can cast 8. 8. My goodness. You want to do some damage by casting an arcane missile at people? Yeah, go for it. You got the spells to burn, baby. Cast some buff spells? Yeah, he's yours. My boy got you covered. And think to yourself, like, okay, what can Nagash not do? Is he good at melee since he's a spellcaster? Surprisingly, yes. I mean, he's not like absolutely a showstopper amazing at it, but that's fine. He's pretty dang good at it, very scary in it. And can beat just about anybody in a fist fight other than other super powerful, super scary characters. For example, Gotrek. What the hell is up with Gotrek, man? That is some nuts stuff that goes on right there. That boy. I think it's like 400 points too, so he's expensive, but he's not like cripplingly expensive like Nagash is. That's kind of the silver lining to Nagash, if you're ever going up against them, is that your opponent's basically bringing Nagash plus some other stuff in there too. Because most Age of Sigmar games are going to be played at like 2,000 points. That's the standard that you do. You play at 2,000 points. And our boy right here is 880. So almost half, like a third of your army is just this one model. Now don't get me wrong, he's really good. He's horrifying to fight up against, either in melee or with the spellcasting. He even has a ranged weapon, which is very unique for death as a faction. He shoots laser beams at people with his eyes. Some like monstrous evil Superman bullshit right there. It's kind of cool actually. And also, Nagash is just really good about buffing up your entire army. So yeah, he's taking out like a third of your army, but the remaining 2/3, it's gonna be scary, dude. They're rerolling hit rolls of 1 on like everything. And for those who really don't know anything about Age of Sigmar or even like tabletop war games itself, you roll a d6 and you compare what your guy's weapon skill is, if it's like 40k or some other game systems, or in Age of Sigmar every weapon has like what you need to roll above to determine if the weapon hits versus what you need to roll below. And if you roll below that number, like say for example you got a dude that you need to roll 4 to hit him with their sword. So that means on average you'd expect 50% of the time that you're going to hit somebody with that sword. What makes Nagash pretty terrifying is the fact that he gives all death on the model, or all death in the field, all the death models that you have, he gives them the ability to re-roll rolls of 1 on hit rolls. So, very simply, in the like 4+ thing we were talking about before, needing to roll a 4 or higher, if you roll 1, hey, you get to re-roll that for free. And then from there, you have another 50% chance to get it. So what you're looking at is a 50% chance on success originally to successfully hit, and then you have like a 15-ish% chance to have to re-roll the die. And then from there, you have another 50% chance to hit. And the reason why that's really good is because if you didn't have that ability, if you rolled that 1, you would have just missed. That's it. That's over. And nothing else. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Tech misses. Sit there like an idiot, you nerd. So that's a very good ability to have. And it's such a common kind of force multiplier, as they're called. That a lot of factions, a lot of armies, in multiple different games and stuff like that, not just Age of Sigmar or Warhammer 40k or what have you. A lot of games, if they want to make something be more powerful, it gives them the ability to reroll dice, because that's powerful. It's very simple, pretty intuitive, and you can already imagine, just even without a whole lot of experience or any experience in it, you can already imagine just how useful something like that is. So that's one of the things Nagash does. Everybody gets to reroll hit rolls of 1. Sick. Awesome. What else can he do, though? Like, he can cast 8 spells. You're telling me he's scary in melee? He shoots laser beams out of his eyes? Like, dude, okay. What else can this bad boney boy do? What can Bone Daddy also achieve? You say, alright, get this. So in addition to allowing all your death models to reroll hit rolls of 1, which includes Nagash himself, by the way, he also allows them to reroll their armor saves of 1. Now, what the hell is an armor save? I'm gonna grab it by the bottom of the bottle. I'm not doing it. What the hell's an armor save? Well, to kind of go over that, kind of like in the example we provided before, we had a dude slapping some other dude with a sword, and we had to roll that hit roll. Okay, cool. Is that it? Does it get hit and dies? Well, obviously no, since I mentioned something called an armor save. So what the hell is an armor save then? Oh my goodness. Yeah, rolling it pretty bad there. Alright, that's fine. This is fine. So what the hell is an armor save? So you roll a hit roll, you succeed, then you roll to see if you wound your adversary, because it's not just important to see if you actually hit your opponent, but you also got to see if your attack was strong enough to even hurt them. I think kind of on average, a bit of an observation. This is a rule of thumb, not a hard and fast, like always going to be this kind of rule. So if you see something that contradicts this, you know, don't say like, "Oh, Fred lied to me." I mean, you can say that. I can't stop you, but it's kind of a dick move, man. But after you roll your hit roll, you have to roll the wound roll, which is also done via d6. And for the most part, for a lot of the times, it's easier to wound somebody than it is to hit them, because you have to get past hitting them before you even make the wound roll. So on a d6, a 6-sided die, say the wound roll is like a 2+, super stupidly good. That means if you roll 1, do you not successfully wound somebody. But if it has a hit roll of 6+, if you have to roll 6 to hit them with that weapon, you know, that's kind of bad. It's really good to wound them, but the fact that you have to roll like a 6 to hit is rough, dude. Like, woof. That's only happening like 15% of the time. So that's kind of like one of the ways that you can balance out a lot of models. Like, you can make them very scary and very dangerous, but reducing their accuracy to kind of exemplify if they're like kind of like a brutish berserker kind of archetype or what have you. Yeah, stuff like that. Okay, anyways, I'm getting off track. So let's say you successfully wound your opponent. You hit them, you wound them, great. What next? Well, now you get to see if your opponent's armor can protect them. So, in Age of Sigmar, as opposed to 40k, which is definitely the more popular of the two games, for Age of Sigmar, I would say the average armor save you're looking at for most things is like a 5 plus armor save, which means, again, you have to roll a 5 or higher, and if you do, you're good, you're fine. You don't take that damage. Good for you, buddy. The armor was there just when you needed it. You did not hurt. Now, from there, as you would expect, a 6-up armor save, that's bad. Because that means you have to roll a 6 in order to not take damage. That's not good. 5 plus, a 5-up armor save, that's a 33% chance to not take the damage. A 6-up armor save is like a 16% chance not to take the damage. Not good. You don't want that. 4-up, that's good. That's a very, very good armor save right there. Which is funny for a lot of people who play like 40k and stuff like that, because you hear 4-up armor save being good, and you're like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? Like, baseline's like 3+. Like, you want to have at least like power armor kind of stuff, because like if you're not rolling a 3+ for the armor save, then you have to have something else to kind of make up for that. Either the model has to be cheap or what have you. And the reason why it's a bit more prevalent, those better armor saves in 40k versus Age of Sigmar, is the idea of armor penetration. It's a bit of a sex joke thing right there. Penetration, you know. Alright. In Warhammer 40k, there's a lot of things that have a high AP. You'll have like -1 being 0 AP, of course, being bad, -1 AP being, you know, okay, -2 AP being good, 3 AP being great, -4 AP means you're taking out like tanks with that thing, and a -5 AP means hope you got an invul save, idiot, which we're not going to talk about right now. Don't worry about that. We're not talking about invul saves. Now beyond that, though, in Age of Sigmar, the reason why a 4+ armor save is good is because armor penetration, or rend, as it's called in Age of Sigmar, it's not nearly as powerful as it is in 40k. In Age of Sigmar, 0 AP, that's bad. -1 AP, I'd say about average, probably good. -2 AP is amazing. Like, crap, man, you're gonna murder some dudes with that stuff. The -3 AP means I hope you got a word save, idiot. Now, I'm talking all about this armor save stuff. And we're gonna bring this back to Nagash again. Because don't worry, we're still talking about Nagash. Nagash lets you reroll hit rolls of 1 for all the death models you bring, including himself. Nagash also lets you reroll armor saves of 1, including himself. Holy crap. That's really good. It's really strong. It's your entire army. Now there's spells out there, or maybe command abilities that can let you do the same thing. But the limiting factor for that is that for those spells or command abilities, they probably only target like one unit, and you have to be within range of the hero or whatever that used that ability. You know, not super, not very. It's kind of it's a bit more restrictive. Sometimes, like if you have to be within 18 inches of whatever it is that's buffing them, that's not a whole lot. You're probably gonna be within 18 inches unless you're deliberately trying to move them away. For this boy though, for this madman, everything, everywhere, entire battlefield. It doesn't matter. Burp number one. It doesn't matter. If it's a death model in your army, which, if you're playing Nagash, is your entire army. Dude, everything's rerolling hit rolls, everything's rerolling armor saves. It's nuts. It's crazy, in fact. Like, holy crap, dude. You kidding me with this? Nah. Actually, nah. Combine this with his very scary sword. Combine this with his eye lasers. Combine this with his 8 freaking spells he can cast per turn. And the bonuses he has to casting spells and also dispelling spells, or otherwise known as counterspelling your opponent's spells. Yeah. Nagash is, again, a very expensive, very big boy model. And he's probably not exactly the most competitive choice, just because if you're spending so many points on one thing, that means your army is going to be smaller than your opponent's. And I'd say for the most part, Nagash is really good about making up his points, and for like card game players, like Magic players, this is just basically the idea of getting the value of what you're putting in. Like if you had this guy that would never ever die, ever, absolutely ever, but he costs 1,000 points, is that good? Well, on the surface, that sounds pretty good. Like, this guy never dies? That sounds pretty powerful. That sounds pretty good. What's the downside in this hypothetical, Fred? Well, the downside is that he can never kill anything either. He never dies, but he doesn't kill anything either. Like, oh, jeez. So what is he good for? Holding objectives? There's one thing. But, a good litmus test to kind of determine if a model is good or bad or not is how likely is it to make up its points. What is it good at doing? What is it bad at doing? Why do you want to bring this model, or why would you not want to bring this model? Are there other models that can do its job better than what it can do? In Nagash's case, what Nagash does is that he casts a lot of spells, and he prevents your opponent from casting spells too. So that's like a twofer. He is good at buffing or disruption with the spells he can cast, or just doing straight up damage with the spells he can cast, and preventing your opponent from using their spells. It's really good too. It means that your opponent can't use their own spells to try to disrupt you or buff themselves or try to hurt you. So that right there, those are 2 good points in his favor. That's just off-casting spells. He's got an eye laser, so he has a ranged attack, which in the Death faction is very rare. But he's got a ranged attack, so hey, a little bit of extra killing, but not really something you're going to focus on. The ranged attack itself is not super great. Hey, don't worry about it. He's, while not the best in melee, is definitely no slouch. And the thing that you're going up against has to be really strong, either in the form of like being able to kill something, or unbelievably tanky to survive against a round of post-combat against Nagash. So far what we got. Well, he's really good at casting spells. He's really good at preventing your opponent from casting spells. He's got a ranged attack, so a little bit extra there. He's good at melee. And then also, I mentioned like the tankiness thing in there. He's very tough. He's got like a, I think it's 3-up armor save? Am I crazy? I'm pretty sure it's a 3-up armor save. Let me double check. Let's go ahead and do this very quick. Just because I want to make sure I'm not being a dunce. A dumb boy. I'm just gonna realize after pulling up my phone that I could have actually just used the computer here, but that involved me having to grab the mouse and the keyboard, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm very certain that my boy do have a 3+ armor save. Granted, I could be wrong. Totally possible. Where are you? There we go. Nagash. Okay, these gloves. There we go. Yeah, he's got a 3-up armor save. Holy crap. Holy crap, dude, why? So 3-up armor save, and he's got 16 wounds, which is a lot. It's not a huge amount, it's not the most. Other really big, scary models that kind of fill a similar niche that Nagash does of being this big centerpiece, look at me, I'm cool kind of model, like Archaon, the Ever-Chosen, or not Illyriel. Illyriel's never going to be good. She's never going to be relevant. Techless from Lumineth Rumblers. That's a good one. Techless is also operating actually a pretty similar keel to what Nagash is doing. Yeah, we're also going to go back and do another coat of this. But, what was it talking about? Right, 3+ armor save and 16 wounds. Yeah, 3+ armor save is, if we remember what we talked about before, where like 5+ was average, 4+ was good, 4+ was like really good. 3+ is nuts. It's insane. If your opponent attacks you with a weapon that has no rends, that means on a 3+, you do not take that damage, no matter how damaging the attack is. But then we gotta remember his buffing ability, where everyone gets to re-roll armor saves of 1. So this means that only if you roll a 2 does Nagash take the hit. If you roll a 1, well, you get to re-roll it and see if you get that 3+ again. So obviously your opponent, and really anybody in their right mind, is going to want to send up some rending attacks up against Nagash to whittle him down. There is a question to be asked, though, if it's even worth trying to fight him, though. And this is, again, this is the biggest downside to Nagash. It's just how expensive he is, in terms of points. Probably also dollar-wise, too. He's actually, he's definitely not the most expensive big boy model, but he's also not exactly cheap, either. Games Workshop models, while good, are really expensive. It's obnoxious, I'm not gonna lie. But 880 points is basically, it's technically a third of your army, but it's more than that, because you gotta put in battle line guys, which for most factions are not very good. They're basic boys that you're using because Games Workshop wants to like try to balance the game a little bit by forcing you to include them, and I get that, I understand that. And some factions even have the luxury of having just straight up good battle line, like Osiark Bone Reapers, the irritable Repo Skeletons, the Skeleton IRS, the Skele Mafia, if you will, Nagash's version of Custodes. The Mortec Guard, the battle line, the basic sword and board armor boys of Osiark Bone Reapers are actually pretty good. They absorb buffs really well, they're very resilient, and you have a lot of way to regenerate dead models in Osiark Bone Reapers, which is kind of a gimmick that a lot of Death has, is like bringing back dead things. Who would have guessed that the great Necromancer is good at resurrecting things, right? Wow, you're blowing my mind, dude. Burp number 3. But, yeah, okay, I actually think I did just lose my train of thought about battle lines. Right. Give you micro points. So, again, 880 points is really big. You gotta fill it up with some battle line. And even in something like Osiark Bone Reapers, where their battle line's actually, like, good. Osiark Bone Reapers are, it's called an elite army. And that doesn't mean that only good players play them. They're actually probably a little bit cheesy these days. They've gotten better. There used to be a point in time where they were really, really bad, where one of their sub-factions, the Petrifex Elite, just increased everyone's armor save by +1, which was a problem if you took Nagash, because he went from a 3-up armor save, rerolling 1s, to a 2-up armor save, rerolling 1s. Dude, what were they thinking? So they changed that, so now it's just, if you're in Petrifex Elite, you automatically get a reroll armor saves of 1. Still good ability, but not good if you're taking Nagash, because Nagash is doing that anyways. There's better options you can take from that. Anyway, so that's neither here nor there. We're also going to be working on the top of Nagash's Poe pad now. So, you gotta think about how you're making back your points. So for something like Nagash, you're doing that easy, casting tons of spells, hitting people with good melee attacks with the sword and the staff that I didn't put on this model because you had the option to build them with either the sword or the staff, and I went with the sword because the sword looks sick and the staff is kind of goofy looking. I mean, nothing against it, it's just, you know, whatever. I actually originally wanted to try to magnetize the weapons, so that way I can either like one game playing with the sword or the staff. And this is all for aesthetic purposes because Nagash has both weapons, even if you model with just one of them, which is definitely the way to go. But regrettably, in the sword hands, I should show you guys. On this little section of his hand, right here, underneath this bone thing, his hand is not one solid piece holding onto it. Instead, it's two halves. The fingers and the thumb kind of curled up around it, and then the back hand. And the kit only comes with one of those fingers and hand things curled around it, so that means I was not able to assemble a shield version, or not a shield version, a staff version of this boy. I think I need to get some more regular flesh in the wet palette. We're starting to get to the point where this is just too used up and thinned out. That part right there in the back of them, that looks like it's part of the gold trim. I'll say this part though, we can have this part be done. Yeah, so we're gonna get some more regular flesh. Also, in a bit of a similar vein. No, that wasn't it. This is it. Also, in a bit of a similar vein to Nagash, you also have Mini Nagash in the form of Archon the Black. Yeah, he's an Age of Sigmar too. Wowee! Makes the entire Mortal Empires campaign I've been doing in the Total War streams, which I'm still doing, by the way. I'm thinking about doing the next one tomorrow night. Maybe that or Soma, maybe? I don't know. I need to see how much longer I have in Soma. I played for like about 3 hours, and I would have to imagine that there has to be more in that game than what I got to, but it feels like I'm actually getting close to the end. Could be completely wrong. Anyways, I think I'm probably going to do Total War tomorrow. That sounds like fun. Doing some more Tomb Key stuff. Tomb Keys are freaking sick. Anyways, so Archon the Black is also an Age of Sigmar. It's like a little mini Nagash. He does a lot of stuff that Nagash does, except not as much. Like he casts 3 spells, so he's a really good spellcaster. He even has bonuses to casting spells and to preventing your opponent from casting spells. So hey, that's good too. But he only casts 3 versus Nagash's 8. And whereas Nagash lets everyone reroll hit rolls of 1 and those armor saves of 1, Archon does not do that. Archon instead increases the range of death of the spellcasters by 6 inches for the spells they can cast. Definitely not a bad ability, but requires a much more specific list to be built around them to really exploit that command ability. But that's fine, you really don't need to. You definitely can, you absolutely can. That's how a lot of people would play the Legions of Nagash army. They do stuff like that. Just play Archon the Black with his Legion of Sacrament, get a couple Necromancers, some big old blobs of skeletons in there, a Mortis engine to help buff up spellcasting even more, and then just drown people in bones while slapping them with spells from a range to make their day a living nightmare. And just start regenerating skeletons in case they get hurt. It's pretty much how Legions of Nagash play right now, because the army is regrettably old, and it's been a while since I've gotten any like new data sheets or like rules or anything like that. It's definitely showing its age. But actually, we're probably going to be getting a new one, or a new version of Legions of Nagash here before Too Terribly Long. Might even get Soul Blight, which is vampires. That might be popping up here before Too Terribly Long too. And that would actually be pretty cool. Now the great question between vampires and skeletons, or vampires and witches. which, if you're a turbo nerd like me, is a discussion you've had numerous times. But not great debate between vampires and liches. I'm a lich guy. Let me tell you. All about that lich. All about that lich. About that lich. About that lich. Vampires are okay. They're whatever. If you're really vain and you have like a low sense of self-esteem, go ahead and be a vampire. Go for it. You're a blood-sucking parasite. Good for you. I'm just going to be cruising through the astral realm, blasting people with spells while researching the infinite mysteries of the arcane, like a Chad. Beast. That's what liches are, my dude. They're beast. Also, if you die as a vampire, like, you can just get killed. Granted, it's harder because you're undead. You know, good for you, buddy. But liches have phylacteries, man, which means you can just pop back into existence after a couple days of chilling out. Go on a little mini vacay, and then pop back in. Unless your phylactery gets destroyed, but, I mean, let's be honest here. If you're a lich worth your salt, no one's gonna know where your phylactery is. Suffice to say, if you ever find yourself in the position where you become an immortal, undead spellcaster, that's entire existence is defined by protecting a small box, don't put your box in your base, because if you get killed in your base, then obviously your base is not a safe place for that box anymore. Put it in the moon or something, man. Whatever, it's fine. I guess it also kind of depends upon the lore, too. If you resurrect at your phylactery, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's also dependent if you resurrect at your phylactery, or if your phylactery exists, you just kind of resurrect. It's very dependent upon that as well, we're not going to lie. Because if you resurrect at your phylactery, maybe you don't necessarily put it on the moon, or if you do, you know, just have a couple of corpses nearby that you can possess when you resurrect, or if you just reanimate totally, then whatever, it's fine. Just cast a teleportation spell and get yourself out of there. Well, I'm afraid we don't have a teleportation spell. Then how'd you get onto the moon, dingus? Think about it. Duh. If you don't have a teleportation spell, then how'd you get to the moon? Did you just make a ladder out of skeletons? Did you? Because I'm not gonna lie, if you did, that'd be pretty freaking rad, dude. I'm like, listen, I'm not even gonna challenge that. If like you say it and be like, hey man, I'm a powerful necromancer. I'm like, alright, sick. What you gonna do with that necromancy, son? And be like, I'm gonna make skeletons. I'm like, okay, hold on. You gonna make like a computer out of skeletons? Because we've been through that a couple of times. You're gonna make the internet out of skeletons? You just have skeleton binary, compute all the skeleton stuff? No, we're not doing that. Okay, good, because I'm getting kind of sick of that. Skeleton helicopters, where you like make their arms little blades and you give them a couple extra arms so they can fly around and stuff like that. Because we've done that before too. No. We're not doing that either. Okay. Then what the hell are you talking about, bro? Alright, so you get a bunch of skeletons, right? Yeah, what through so far? Make them stand on top of each other. Like a pyramid? No. Like a ladder. Okay, skeleton ladder, gotcha. Continue. And then, after that, the moon. From a practical perspective, it's silly, it's stupid, but we're talking about necromancy and spellcasters and liches and skeletons, so same token, like, pick which hill to die on, so I know where to resurrect your body. Beyond that, though, like, screw it, man, go for it, why not? A lot of people like to think that necromancy is evil. And to those of you who think that, to those of you who think that necromancy is just an evil thing that only evil people do, here's what I'd say to you. Yeah, you right, though. It's just cool, man. It's sick. Like, whenever I'm playing a video game with spellcasting and stuff like that, if they have the option to do necromancy, I'll often enough pursue it, because, like, no joke, man, necromancy is sick. It's just really cool. It, yeah, I'm thinking about it, like, where exactly did that thesis begin? Like, when did I first start thinking that? I played Mono Black and Magic the Gathering when I was younger. To date myself a little bit, I played Magic the Gathering since Mirage. Magic. I won't lie, there's a part of me that's thinking about doing like arena streams or something like that, and maybe I still will. Like, comment down below. Remember to subscribe and like if I should do some arena streams, because I've played Magic for a super long time, but I don't know. I've had some problems with where Standard's at right now. Throne of Eldraine was a mistake, like a horrible mistake. Like, I understand needing and wanting to make really powerful cards, because really powerful cards are what people want to play with. Understand. Get it. Gotcha. But, I'm getting Mirrodin vibes. I got Mirrodin vibes from Throne of Eldraine, where, like, the set came out, and unlike Mirrodin, where it had the decency to keep a lot of its shenanigans only focused around artifacts, where you could hate that kind of stuff out, Throne of Eldraine was instead like, yeah, we're just going to have a 4/4 for 4 of Haste, Vigilance, and Death Touch that also can't be blocked by creatures 2 or less, with power 2 or less, and also if you deal damage to an opponent, you also get to deal damage. You get to deal 4 damage to a planeswalker they control, you know, just because. And you hear that, and you think like, okay, so all that, and it costs 4 mana. That's a lot. Is it like 4 colors of magic? Like 4 colors of mana? Like, is it like red for haste, like white for the vigilance, green or black maybe for the death touch, like blue for like avoiding creatures with power 2 or less or something like that, or green even for that? So it's like 4 colors. Like, nah, it's 2 and 2 green. 2 and 2 green for that. You sure? You sure about that, man? That sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot. It's like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. And it kind of sort of is. I mean, Questing Beast is really good, but it's not defining the entire meta by itself. That's also because there's just a bunch of other really busted cards in there, too. Like Embercleave. I support Red getting more tools. I'm not chastising Red for having tools. It's good that they do. Mono Red is good for a meta. It keeps the meta honest a little bit. It stuffs combo players up in their snooty little ivory towers, which is valuable because, I mean, if you're a combo player, you already know the kind of person you are. I'm not judging. Who doesn't love a little bit of Storm, right? But you do need a check on that. Otherwise, it gets really degenerate and awful, and no one's having fun except for you. Favorite Storm deck, just to kind of go off the brief tangent. My favorite Storm deck is not Storm, it's Ad Nauseam. God, I love Ad Nauseam. It's so stupid, it's great. Oh man, Ad Nauseam is so much fun. Anyways, so we have a lot of situations like that where, you know, you need red to keep that kind of stuff in check, like mono red or just aggro in general. But then you have a card like Embercleave happen. Embercleave is the perfect finisher for a red aggro deck. Like, you play a couple cheap creatures, you crash in a little bit, do some damage, and then it's like, okay, I have this equipment. And you're like, oh boy, equipment? Boy, howdy, that sounds like trash right there, right out of the gate. Equipment? Artifact equipment? It's like, yeah, okay, but hold on. Okay. It's got flash. Sure, a little bit better then, I guess. When it enters the battlefield, you can equip it to a creature. Okay. Alright. Actually, so far, this is not something that's bad. What else does it do? Gives you +1/+1. That's it. Hold on. Gives it trample. Ooh. +1/+1 and trample. Okay. Okay. Then, after that, gives it double strike. Ooh. Ooh, +1/+1 trample and double strike? Holy crap. Wow, that's powerful. It has flash, and when it enters the battlefield, you can just put it on a creature? Yeah. Jeez. Okay, that's good. How much does that cost? Like, the spell itself. They say 6 mana. You go. Okay. Alright, that sounds like a little bit too much. I'd probably say like 4 or 5 mana. I mean, maybe that might be too cheap, but given everything that you're getting off of that, you know, that's not terrible. That's pretty powerful, but it's not like the best thing ever. And then that person smirks at you and says, well, you think to yourself, oh god, no, what now? You see, here's the thing about it. What is it now? It costs 1 less mana for each creature that's attacking. Oh. Oh, it does? Yeah, it does. Okay, can you only cast it during the declare attacker step? Like, so your opponent at least knows which monster to block, even though it's going to have double strike and trample? It's like, no, you just cast it whenever you want. Like, after the declared defenders. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Hold on, I might be wrong about it. I might just be complaining about Embercleave incorrectly here. Wait a second. Wait a second. We're gonna do some research, boys. Hang tight. I want to complain about Embercleave, but I want to make sure I'm complaining about Embercleave correctly. Is it only during the... Alright. Embercleave, Throne of Eldraine. Flash. It costs 1 less for each attacking creature control, and it's battlefield attached to a creature control. Yeah, no, you can just do whatever you want. Okay, sure, that's fine. Yeah, okay. Alright, I was about to say if it was only during the declare attacker step, you know, that'd be a little bit better. Or I guess like before defenders or before blockers are declared or something like that, that'd be a little bit better, but now you just do whatever you want. Sure. Sure thing, Wizards. Sure thing. You got it, bro. Yeah, okay. Whatever. I think me relentlessly complaining about stupid bullcrap, just to prove how much of a scrub I am, is emblematic of why I have some hesitation about playing Arena, playing Standard. Could play Historic. I played Historic a while ago. I think prior to Zendikar coming out. Now we have like Skaldheim or whatever it's called, which is kind of crazy to think about. Pretty good bit of Historic back then. Like, they put thought seeds in Historic, which like, alright man, yeah, sure, okay, go for it. For those of you who don't know what Thoughtseize is, I think everyone knows what Thoughtseize is if you play Magic at this point. The card has come back around so many times that Thoughtseize is now just a thing that everyone knows about instead of like, oh, did you play during Lorwyn? I'm like, nah. Okay, so you don't know what Thoughtseize is? Nah. Like, when Theros comes out the first time, they're like, wow, this Thoughtseize card's kind of nuts, right? Yeah, it is. Thoughtseize is probably one of the best one-drops in the entire game that's not banned in every single format ever. Like, any of the Power 9 cards. But, what Thoughtseize does, so it's only the exact specifics of what it does, because unless you play Magic, it's not going to make a whole lot of sense to you. I'm not really telling the Magic players about this. Magic players are going to know what Thoughtseize is. What Thoughtseize does, it says, Thoughtseize, something you can play on your first turn, makes you take a little bit of damage, but here's what it says. It tells your opponent, hey, I'm going to know exactly what you have that you're supposed to be able to keep secret, and I'm also going to get rid of one of those things. Something I probably can't deal with down the road. Or just get rid of something that's important to what your game plan is. That's what Thoughtseize is. It's just, I'm going to know what you're doing. I'm going to take something that you're doing, I'm going to get rid of that. And this happens in turn 1, by the way. Just at the very beginning of it. First thing to do, swamp, tap for black, 2 life, Thoughtseize. What's you got right there? Oh, is that a combo piece? Is that a Goblin Electromancer? Is that a Baral? Is Baral still even legal in Modern? Whatever, we're not going down that rabbit hole. Oh, are you playing Storm? I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of one of your Get There cards. You can keep all the finishers that you want, all the things that let you win the game, but you're never gonna be able to use those because they're gone now. So yeah, Thoughtseize is an historic. Cryptrat is an historic too, which is hilarious. I love Cryptrat. Cryptrat's such a good boy. A big fan of 8-Rack. 8-Rack's not a good deck, but I love it. I love being able to look at my opponent and say, hey, listen, buddy. I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? Magic's a game about having fun, right? They're like, yeah. So it's a 2-player game, you say to them. Like, yes. Sometimes it's a 2-player game. You can't play with more people. Right. I know you can play with more people. But in this situation, just you and me, it is a 2-player game. And they go like, yes. Okay, correct. And what I want to do is I want all the fun to myself. This fun is mine now. You don't get any of this fun. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm going to discard your hands, and you're not going to get to have anything in there. The only things you're ever going to do is what you draw off the top of the deck, which is the reason why 8-Rack's not a good deck, is because it can't stop your opponent from top decking the answer, or like a way to escape that nightmare. Your opponent just sits there and goes, yeah, okay, man, I guess we're doing this. Like, yep, we are. So you cast your Thoughtseize, you cast your Inquisitions of Kozilek, maybe a Raven's Crime if you're going real deep into the entire idea of like an 8-Rack kind of thing. Maybe a Snaring Bridge. Does 8-Rack even play in Snaring Bridge anymore? I don't know. I don't know what the modern metagame looks like right now. It doesn't matter. You play all these cards. Then you got little old Crypt Rat. What did Crypt Rat do? Crypt Rat is a 2-mana creature. It costs 2 mana to play that bad boy. And he starts off with 0 power and 0 toughness. That's not good. What's his gimmick then? Like, it's +1/+1 for every rat you control. Okay. So he comes on the battlefield as a 1/1 for 2 mana. That's not great. No, it's not. So he can get bigger, but that's a bit of a big investment, you know? You can only have 4 copies of any card in your deck. And unless I'm playing a lot of rats, that's not gonna make Crypt Rat super good. So why is this boy fun? What's he do? What's Crypt Rat do? He looks square into the eye of your opponent, and you say, listen, it's like turn 5 now. They're like, yeah, it is. I haven't had a hand in a long while, and I keep on drawing lands. And they're like, yeah, I know. I'm right there with you, man. We're enjoying the suffering together, right? I'm also drawing nothing but lands. So here's what Crypt Rat does. I can spend 3 mana that I wasn't going to use on anything else this turn, discard the land that I drew, and I'm going to make another Crypt Rat. They're like, oh. So you can get rid of useless cards and just flood the board with tiny little boys. Yes, they get big because you have so many of the boys. Oh, jeez, I don't know about that, man. Like, that sounds like it's only going to be good if the game stalls to a halt and like nothing's really happening. And then you say to your opponent, my entire game plan for my deck is to make sure that you can't do anything, and my deck only does that and kills you for it. So if I draw a discard spell and you have nothing in your hand for me to discard, well, then it's just sitting up there taking space and doing nothing, right? You are right. So, is that why Crypt Rat's good? Yes. Because if we get to the point in the game where I'm drawing nothing useful, and hopefully neither are you, I can chuck those garbage cards into the Crypt Rats and make more Crypt Rats. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to kill Crypt Rat. Oh, fine, go ahead, sure. What? Why? Crypt Rat doesn't make more rats, he makes more Crypt Rats. Which means you can use that copy of the Crypt Rat to make another copy of a Crypt Rat. You can make a copy of 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 a copy. Single target removal is not going to get rid of the problem. It's going to stick around. You need a board wipe. What if I draw a board wipe? Like, yeah, you could. And, you know, if you do that, I'm going to be really bummed out. So, you don't have to kill the Crypt Rats. Like, I drew Supreme Verdict, I killed the Crypt Rats. Then you get sad. And then you hope you drew and played like a Shrieking Affliction or a Rack earlier to kill them off because you lost your boys. You lost your boys. Wow, that was a... oh my goodness, I need to get another drink. Wow, that was a tangent. Holy cow. Oh, we're gonna get the stretch in, boys. Ugh, stretching. Stretching. Alright, here's what we're going to do, everybody. It's starting to get gross and humid where I live, so here's what we're doing. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Turn on the AC for a smidgen. That way I can cool down the environment a little bit, and I can also do the microphone so you guys don't hear that. But beyond that, get myself a drink. Yeah, there we go. Closing the web palette. Give myself a drink. Kind of lozenge myself out because I feel like really gacky right now. It's not good. And go from there. So I will see you guys, let's say 23 past the hour. Cool. See you then. Hey, I'm back. Alrighty. Okay. Needed to grab another brush because I think we're rapidly getting to the point where we might actually be done with blending. Oh my god. Man, aren't we fortunate souls? I just realized I didn't turn off the AC. Oh no. Let's go ahead and take care of that right quick. You're gonna hear me get up. Let's go. Alright. Creaky chair. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Alright. Hey, there we are. Alright, we're back. Yay! I grabbed a new brush, which is the Winsor Newton Type 0. We'll be using this for some edge highlighting we're going to be doing on the roads. Also, I grabbed some Agrax Earthshade because we're going to be using this to kind of darken down a lot of the flesh and bone that we can work on some more. So I got some more bone we need to work on Nagash's body, like a lot of the areas up here on the shoulder, the neck, the tummy, the trim over here. Like all that's looking good. That's looking like a good coat. But we still got some here on the knees, on the legs. Let me go ahead and put my finger behind it. It's a lot easier for you guys to see it. The legs right here. And also got some on his boots. Little booties. Little booty boy. We still got some more base coating we gotta do with that kind of stuff. But I put in the thumbnail this thing. Bruh. We do be edge highlighting though, which is why we got the Winsor Newton right here. We're gonna use that for highlighting. Alright, before that though, before all that, let's look at what we're looking at here. Okay. Yeah, transition is getting softer, but still not enough. ASMR going on, that paint cup ASMR. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and mix this sucker up again. Let's away some of the excess. I think that's too much. Maybe that's correct and I've not been using enough. Oh jeez, what a nightmare that would be. I think I was correct. I was using probably more towards the correct amount than the not correct amount before. And I hate doing transitions like this. The effect looks good, and you want it to look good. So like you're gonna do it, but at the same time, like, bro, can you just not? Heard some people use like contrast paints and the contrast paints as a glaze. And you know, this would be a terrible idea. Let's move this around. That'd be a terrible idea to try to experiment a little bit with that. I tried doing it when I was working on some Necrons, because you know I'm being typecast here as, you know, skeleton boy. But I don't know. I wasn't super like satisfied with how that turned out, so just make sure we don't have any paint on the back here. I'll start working on the inside. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's get the inside now. I tried working on some of that, like using contrast paints as like a glaze. But I was just not super happy with how that turned out. I actually used a very similar technique to what I'm doing here. So, actually, now that I think about it, when I was working some of the energy blades for the Necrons, I actually used full-blown wet painting, which is you put down a color and then you use a clean, wet brush to draw that color over the transition spot. Maybe, you know, upon retrospect, maybe that would have been the right decision to do for this thing. Potentially. Just go ahead and slap that sucker up on there. And let's start getting to work on the knee pads and stuff like that. Make sure I don't have any excessive pooling up in here. So I want to be done with these freaking robes. I'm still going to work on the base, but I can save that for later. It's fine. Do we have any pooling? Yeah, we got some pooling right there. That's looking good. Yeah, a little bit right there. There. Yeah, that's looking... Let it dry. We do not want to tear the pigment off, especially after how much we've been doing this, because that would be absolutely terrible. Alright. Wet pellets. There we go. Okay. That's super soupy. Oh yeah, wow, that's awful, actually. Nope, it's still way too watery. We just need to be more aggressive to paint here. Okay, shake that boy. There we go. Okay. Put that globule right in there. Stir it around. Get mixed with some water or something like that. Let's see, do we have too much on there? That's looking better now. Alright. There we go. Guess it looks... Oh, jeez Louise. That immediately went horribly. Alright. Seems like the spines right here on the legs are actually just on the side. No. Actually, clean off this brush and just absorb the excess, because that is not a good coat, that is a bad coat. It's a very bad coat, it's going to go into the ugly box. Alright. Crying out loud. Why did that go that way? Whatever, it's fine. Okay. Alright. Seems like a lot more color coming up over here now. Oh, yeah, that's right. We got it over there. That's fine. It is not a problem. This is something we are going to be cleaning up down the road anyways. Okay. So let's color that done over there. Let's go ahead and get this side. Start with the booties. Okay. Sure. Yeah, there we go. Slap that boy right there. Yeah. I mean, this is going to be a nightmare to paint the armor plates down here in the future. I think, because my position while I'm doing this is very awkward in comparison to what I normally do whenever I'm painting stuff. Because I'm working at a table right now. And normally whenever I paint stuff, I'm like on the couch. And I just hold the models really up close to me. So A, I have more control, and B, I have a better line of sight on it. But there wasn't really a super great way for me to set this up to where it works on the couch without just having like really bad lighting, because the lighting over there is really bad, which is why I have like a headlamp thing that I wear. It helps the lighting, makes it easier to see stuff. So I don't know. I think what I'm gonna do is for the armor platings and stuff like that, I think I'm gonna actually have to probably off stream for like these ones that have the legs, and have to do just off stream, just so I have really good control over it, because like that's a bunch of really tight spaces we're going to move in there, and I do not think that doing it over on stream is going to be the best bet. It's going to be a very small part of it though, so we're not missing out on much. I still have those misgivings about whether or not I should just work on this more tedious stuff like off stream, and that way like the stuff we're doing on stream is just a lot more engaging, I'd say. Maybe more engaging. Although I guess at the same time, the kind of vibe I'm trying to go for, maybe this is not ended up being the case terribly much, but the type of vibe I'm trying to go for here is kind of like a hobby hangout kind of thing. Like for folks to come in and chat about stupid stuff. Well, I get aggressively more and more disappointed and upset with my own ability to put colors on plastic. Because, you know, internet men are very serious business, or not internet men, like plastic army men are very serious business, let me tell you. Super serious business. It's kind of one of the reasons why I hate 40K so much. Or, hate's a very strong word, but it's one of the reasons why I'm not super big on 40K right now. Is like the updated Necrons, which is what I played in 8th edition. God help me. And that's great. I loved it, but I'm just so sick of Space Marine stuff, dude. I think pretty much the entire player base is sick of Space Marine stuff as well. Like, we all know, like, alright, you don't like Space Marines, cool, great, super unique opinion, Fred. You're such a unique inspiration, and I will name my firstborn after you for your prophetic words. I get it. It's something everyone's complained about a lot if you're in those circles, and I am definitely one of those people who complain about it a lot. Like, just in comparison to that, in comparison to what we got going on in 40K versus like Age of Sigmar right now, where it's nuts. Things are going crazy. Like, Order would be the closest faction equivalent to the Imperium. Although, if we're being really real right now, if you want to know who the Emperor would be in Age of Sigmar, it wouldn't be Sigmar. It'd be this guy. Nagash is just the Age of Sigmar version of the Emperor. Fight me in the comments, I dare you. But it's just going nuts. You got a bunch of really cool, unique things going on, like a unique army mechanic that are not just cookie cutter, like, oh, you have a doctrine ability that gives you, like, +1 strength whenever you charge, or any of that kind of other stupid stuff. Instead, it's stuff with, like, Ossiarch Bone Reapers, where it's like, hey, you don't have command points. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about about command points? Yeah, you don't have command points. Instead, you have something completely different in the form of relentless discipline points, which are like weird, janky versions of discipline, of like command points that operate completely differently. Or you have like Magnekin of Nurgle with like this clock thing that's constantly ticking that you can like modify to change what boss you get and something like that. Or like how summoning works in Age of Sigmar. It's just cool, man. I'm like all for it. I'm much more happy with what Age of Sigmar is doing right now than what 40k is doing. I will say that Age of Sigmar is definitely more casual than 40k, but that's okay. It's fine. A lot of people weep for Warhammer Fantasy, and I got it. I understand why. In times are rough, man. They're rough for a lot of people. Like, it's okay. I get it. Technically, Nagash is a Warhammer Fantasy model too. Shh! Don't tell anyone that though. Because it's end time stuff. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to bring up the dark years. Alright. So I'm feeling a lot better about the base coding we got for all the Rekar flesh we did on a lot of these things. The next step that we actually need to do on these to kind of bring them up a level, and we're not doing this yet because is we're actually going to slap them with burp number 4, Ushabti Bone, which is we're going to put all over the Rekar flesh that we worked on, except for like burp number 5. Except for the belly and like the neck and like the fleshy details in the gash, we're gonna basically put this over everything. But like, we just got done with so much base coding, and I want to take a break from that and do something new and different, interesting, and fun. Maybe even a little risque, sexy maybe, if you're feeling up for it. You never know. Which is why we got this tiny bad boy. Let me remove the plastic cap on it. Oh no. Uh-oh. Plastic cap's not coming off, my gloves keep on sliding off. Alright, speaking of risque, everybody. I can't really see it. Ooh, the gloves are off. Or a glove is off. Actually, I know that technical glove to get better traction, it's still not coming off. This son of a gun. My dude. Ah. There we go. That's right. I'm gonna tease you. I'm gonna tease you with my hands. Ooh. Oh no, the gloves are not on all the way. Let me. Ooh. Ooh. How about that? How about that? This is a stupid bit. This is a very stupid bit. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to do some edge highlighting on the robes here. This is going to comprise really of 2 colors, plus a third one maybe down the road if I feel like it. Maybe. Which is a color called Cabalite Green. It's kind of like a tealish sort of green color. And then we're going to do another edge highlight of Cyberite Green on top of it, but not going up to the same, all the locations that we're doing with the Cabalite Green. Cabalite Green, this sucker's pretty much going everywhere that has an edge. Cyberite Green, not so much. So, first things first, what do we do whenever we're working with a new bottle of paint? This is not a rhetorical question, I'm actually asking. That's right, shake it. Doing some Dora the Explorer shit over here. Alright. Sweet. So, we're going to take a good old dollop of this boy. Put him in the wood palette. Let's put him right here. There we go. Yeah. There we go. That's nice. Okay. So that has been achieved. We're going to clean off this brush now because we are not going to use it. We were just using it just to scoop out the paint, put it onto the palette. The reason why we didn't do it with the Winsor Newton brush is because I do not want paint to get into this thing's ferrule, because this is like definitely the sharpest point I have out of any of the brushes that I own. And I want to maintain that. So we're going to treat this thing like it's a Fabergé egg or something else that's also inexplicably valuable. So, here's what we're doing. Taking water off the edge of the ferrule. We're going to take a little bit of this, and we're going to roll the brush while we twist it. A little bit more paint. Just because this angle I'm holding the web palette while I'm doing this is actually kind of awkward. And the traction control of these gloves is not helping either. Oh yeah, see, there we go. Mess it up completely, just like that. Hell yeah, boy. You know exactly what to do. Beautiful. Alright. We got a really good fine point on this. So, here's what we're going to do, boys. We are just going to use the edge of the brush on the edge of the model. We're just going to run this sucker just a lot. Very gently. Just rub it against the edge. Oh man, this is like way more stressful to do on a stream than it is to do normally. And edge highlighting's already kind of a stressful thing to do. For kind of exactly that reason, which I just did, which you can't really see in the stream because the model is not within line of sight. Don't worry, I'm going to show you guys in just a second. Okay. Alright, so, here's what we did. Probably not bright enough to actually see on camera, but it'll be super obvious next on the next brighter coat we do. So, kind of look at what this looks like right here versus this right here. This is very dark. This doesn't look as dark. Why? Because we edge highlighted it. Wowee! And now we're actually going to go ahead and do the other thing to the same side here. Let me move this so I have tons of room. Different way out to help stabilize everything. Alright. I think we need to get some more paint on this actually. Part of the trick for doing edge highlights like this is to keep the brush pretty well saturated with thin damping. The rationality behind this is that you do not want to have to apply too much pressure when you're doing this. You just want the edge of your brush to catch the edge of the thing that you're working on. This is cheating. Very gently, just like that. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. Holy cow. Oh my goodness, yes. Alright, there we go. Okay. What was this thing right here? Gosh darn. So, okay, this little spot that I found right here that's not driving me nuts. There's like a hole in the road, which is also something where the edge highlighting, so it's okay if I just cover this up. Excessive amount of paint, yeah. Okay, okay. So get that looking fine, so now we're going to work on some of the holes on the inside of the robe. Or, like, you know, not on the absolute edge of the robe. We're going to handle this very similar to how we were handling the other stuff, too. Focus on the easier stuff first, build up our confidence, and then we'll tackle some of the harder stuff. Is that even really showing up, though? Am I going nuts? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay. We need to load this up again. Okay. Sorry, I know that I am definitely being a lot quieter than I have been previously. It's because we're kind of moving past the mindless stuff and the stuff that requires a lot of focus and attention. Otherwise, things will get messed up, and I will really be unhappy. Mm-hmm. The cave, this part is very subtle. Because we're going to build up on it a little bit more with a brighter color. I think I'm probably going to want to actually do that off stream too, just because it's such a fine point and don't want to mess up on it. This part turn out over here. Yeah, one of the tricks you can do for highlighting, for edge highlighting and stuff like that, using the edge of your brush specifically, is turning the model like a 45-degree angle, and then running the brush perpendicular to it. It's going to make the entire process a whole lot easier. The problem is that there's a whole lot of complicated angles in this bad boy. So that's kind of where we're running into right now. Okay, okay. That's looking fine. A little bit more paint. Alright, there we go. Oh man, that turned out pretty well right there. I'm getting my finger stuck in the dose. That was a little bit too much, but it's gonna be okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just losing control of the brush a good bit. The position's a bit too awkward. All you can see right now is my PC arm and my... I have to draw this thing in so freaking close. The situation I'm in right now is that we spent so much time working on these robes and stuff like that, I really do not want to mess up majorly and have to start something over again, because that would be so demoralizing. Progressively. Progressively, we are doing a lot better now. Okay. Alright. Yeah, it's just starting to get to me a little bit just because of how awkward the angle is. Alright. Yeah, it's not really showing up on camera too terribly well. This entire area right here, all these holes has been done, so we just have like this section. These ones, even though there's a lot more surface area than there are over here in these holes, this one's actually a lot easier to do. Like this big old gap right here. We got this stuff over here. So yeah, it's just a lot. I was trying to convince myself that it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, but oopsie doodle. Alright, I think let's do this. Go ahead and grab the sidebar drink. Got a whole lot of motion off of this boy. Alright, just like always. Shaky shake, shaky shake, shaky shake. Shaky shaky shake, shaky shake. Okay. Something you're really not supposed to do. I'm actually just going to take some paint directly from the pot. Just because I want you guys to see what this is going to look like. We're going to go for this section right here. What I said right there, in case you couldn't hear, I'm trying to find a place to put my finger for added stability. Yeah, and already I done goofed. I done messed up. Yep. 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 Okay, that's disappointing. Alright, yeah, I was afraid it was going to happen. Okay, so here we have it right here, and actually you can see it show up, especially if you look at like this little line right here. Look at a very bright green right there. It's actually showing up, even right there. Look at that boy right there. So doing that all the way up to the robe, cutting off maybe just a little bit shy the waistline, kind of like right around here. That was the idea for the ivory green, but regrettably, got ahead of myself, got a little bit too excited. Wanted to show you guys what that was going to look like. Didn't have proper control of the brush. And the paint was not properly thinned down, so all together, we'll call it a draw. Yeah, I think upon reflection, this is definitely something I'm going to have to work on off stream, or alternatively just find a better place to like do my hobby stream setup to make it a little bit better than what it's at right now currently. It's 3 a.m.? What in the world? Why is it 3 a.m.? Why is it 3 a.m.? Why is it 3? Hold on. Daylight savings. Oh no, it's daylight savings. That's not good. Alright, lads. Alright. Here's what I'm thinking. We hit the 2-hour mark. Gotta get up early tomorrow, regrettably, because I gotta work. So here's kind of what I'm thinking we do. I'm gonna go ahead and work on this guy a little bit during my free time tomorrow before the stream. Maybe what I can do is I can take a couple of pictures of it, maybe? Take some pictures of it, maybe take a little bit of a slideshow prior to the stream tomorrow. That, or just edit together a video of some of the progress we made using clips from the stream previously so far. That's not a terrible idea. Something we can try to do. But as for right now, though, since it's apparently later than I thought it was, we're gonna have to go ahead and kind of call it here, regrettably. But not to worry, everybody. We'll be streaming tomorrow. This will be fun. I will see you cool cats later. Remember, have a good night, good morning, good weekend, good week. Keep the dream alive. I'll see y'all later.